Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm Gamesplaining Paris New Eden. So this is Paris New Eden. It is set up as a 2-player game. The differences with a 3 or 4-player game is the number of dice that get put out into each of the spots. These dice have been rolled already, by the way. The number of spaces available to you. So in a 2-player game, you've got all of them. In a 3-player game, this one will be covered up. In a 4-player game, both of them will be covered up. In a 2 or 3-player game, 3 of these cards have been taken off the top and put back in the box, as there are cards that need to come out in the end game to make that work. And that is pretty much the differences. So, what is this game? How does it play? The idea is that you are in a post-apocalyptic version of Paris and you are trying to do the various things. All you need to do on your turn is select one of the dice and do what it says on the bottom of the square. Once all of those dice have been collected, you are then bidding or saying, I have this many of each color dice. So if I have a whole bunch of these yellow dice, I might say I've got 3 yellow dice, if I had 3 of them, and that would give me an option to take one of these cards. In fact, I have to take one of these cards, but if I've got 3 and my other player has 2, I will get the first choice. So you want to have the most, or you want to have none, depending on what the cards are out there and what you think is viable. So each of the die faces lines up with one of these characters. Once you have pulled the cards in, you will then be looking at resolving the event, which is one of these cards. And the way these work is, this is saying we need one of these green guys, which is this line of cards, but they also need their particular symbol. So a guy and his symbol, a guy and his symbol, that's a guy and his symbol. The next card up is looking for one of these guys with its symbol. This card would not be helpful at that particular point. Or the top one is looking for a combination of 3 of the red and the purple guys. So you can have 2 of one and 1 of the other, or 3 of one and none of the other. It doesn't really matter as long as your maximum or total is 3. If you don't have that, no harm, no foul. But if you do have that, that's some bonus points at the end of each round. Then you will need to feed your guys. So depending on how many dice you've managed to pick up and are sitting with you, and each face on a card counts as a guy. Each of these count as a guy, and I'll talk about how to get them in a moment. So however many you have, you will move your marker along here. So say you had 6 guys, you would move it to there. What you're then looking for is 2 food. You will gain food from farmers, which are just there, and from cans of food. So in order to get them fed, you would need to have either 2 cans of food or 2 farmers or 1 of each within your supply to make that work. If you have managed to feed your guys, that would get you 2 points. Obviously, the further down this track you are, the more food you're going to need, but the more points you will get for that food. If you cannot feed them, no harm, no foul, you just don't get the points. What do each of the things do? I'll start down here. The first person to take one of these dice will get this token as well. This token will just sit there, and what she does is adds to the number of guys that you've got for whichever one of these is available. You would take a die and put it into the slot. Then you'll choose one of these 3 and say, that one's not going to happen. So for example, he might actually take that one and then go, okay, I think this one is not going to happen. Flip that over. The next person who comes down will just get the other die and will flip over one of the other 2 tokens. So only one of them will actually score. But the first person who went there has an extra guy available to them. In this spot, when you take a die, you are gaining 3 cards, or at least you're getting 3 cards that you can look at and hang on to in your deck. So these cards are endgame points. So if this guy kept this card, he'd be looking for 4 of these pills and he'll get 4 extra points. or he'd be looking for 13 buildings and he'd get 6 extra points. And I'll talk about how we get those buildings in a moment. If he hung on to this card, he'd be looking to have these types of people in his buildings at any point to be able to then add that. So he'd just take one of them, play face down, put the others underneath the deck. This black guy doesn't line up with any of these cards. He's a wild card type of die. I will talk about how you use them in a moment, but in order to actually use this particular guy, you need to also have a regular proper colored side of the die that you're using for that deck. You can't just use them by themselves. Up here, when you take one of these dice, you also take one of these markers. That just gives you 1 extra food for when you need to feed your people. Over at this spot, there are 3 dice. If you're playing a 3 or 4 player game, there would be 6 dice over there, so all of these will get taken. But there are 3 dice there, so you would take, let's say, one of these and one of the tokens. It doesn't matter where they live up there, by the way. Here, you're taking one of the dice and then one of these 3 elements that would add to the guys that you've got in your buildings, enabling them to actually be able to do this event, or one of these 2 tokens. This token makes you first player. This token allows you to be the winner of any tie. If you're not actually involved in the tie, it goes clockwise from your seating position. So if I'm holding this and I'm playing a 4-player game and then 2 other players are tied, the person next to me on the left is the person who will win that tie. If they're not involved, obviously the next one around will win that tie. So he might take that and maybe that one. Please notice, if you are the holder of this at the end of the game, you'll get an extra 2 points, but it's only for the last round. Simply because there's no first player from other rounds. So this player will become first player next round. Okay, so all of these dice will be taken. Okay, next we move on to the claiming buildings portion of the game. So whoever has this marker states their strength for the yellow buildings first and work along the line this way. So this player has 2 strength for the yellow buildings. This player has 4 strength for the yellow building. So he's going to get to take a yellow building first. This just gets him 2 of the yellow people, which may or may not be a good thing. This one gets him 2 people plus that marker. Now, many of those cards have little symbols on them, and they are stated here. So that particular card, when you perform the bridge action, which is this action, you can keep an additional mission card. So that one's actually probably a worthwhile card for this guy to claim. So he would take that card. That means the only one left to play is this one. Now, if we were playing a 3-player game and the 3rd player happened to also go yellow, they would actually take the blind card. If we were playing a 4-player game, there'd be 3 lots of cards down here. The 4th player would take the blind card if everyone has managed to get something for that particular type of card. We then move along to red and do exactly the same thing. This guy has 0 red. This guy has 2 red. So he's the only one who's going to be able to pick stuff up, and it's worth his while to pick that one up for the moment. This tile then flips over and becomes an extra person on the actual buildings. We then move along to green. This player has 2 and the one guy there. But this player is going to put the wildcard guy with that, so he also has 2. Because he was the first to call his number, he can't then go back and add that guy. So it's 2 each. This guy has the break the ties, which means that this guy gets to choose which one he wants first. So he will take that. That token then gets flipped over onto that building, and that die's used. This guy then must take that one. We then move to the purple. The only one who's got any purple is this guy, so he's going to choose one of those 2, and he thinks it's actually worth his while to take this one, even though there's 3 people on it, and when he flips that out, that will make 4. He also has 2 of their tools. This guy doesn't get any purple, And then we go to the last one, which are the farmers. So this guy's got 2 plus the wild, so he's got 3. This guy's only got 1, and he thinks it's probably worthwhile grabbing that one. This little picture gives him one of those tokens, and this guy then takes that, which gives him 3 more survivors, which he doesn't really want, but it gives him 2 food tokens. We then move on to the event, which is looking for 1 green and 1 red. This guy doesn't have any green or red people, so that's of 0 use to him. This guy has a green with his tool and a red with his tool. So he actually has that, which means that the white player would get 2 points, which are marked just here. We then go to feeding. So black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 also. So both of them are on the 9 spot, which means they both need to feed 2 lots of guys. So this one's going to use his 2 food. This one has a farmer and 1 food, makes up his 2. So both of them get 2 points. And then we reset and go again. I think that is all of the ideas behind Parish New Eden. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplay to get a feel for how the game actually plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.